Welcome back. We want to be talking about the subtleties of unaliveness and the minor implications that there are. And I would like to encourage you also while we're going through this video to really ask yourself, in which situations do you feel unalive and do you encounter those things that we will be speaking about here? So the subtleties of unaliveness. Number one, we have less time feeling at all. You know, when we feel unalive and with all the conflicts that we have less net time feeling. And really ask yourself, when are you not feeling at all something and just being in your head and your mind? In which situations? What are the triggers? Just examine that, you know, as a little exercise. And also the feeling of disempowerment. You know, when we run away from certain feelings, a very curious thing happens. They actually come back to us for us to look at, you know. When you run away from something, for example, your anger or your sadness, and you kind of push those feelings away, they kind of accumulate and magnify, and at some point they just burst, you know, through the surface. If you haven't looked at them, you know, and haven't felt them through, they kind of come back to you, and then you feel disempowered because you feel you don't have any control over your feelings, which is partly true. But if you get into like days or like hours of unhealthy behavior, or whatever that might be, or just being flat out on the ground, just weeping or getting mad at people, or, you know, hating yourself, those unhealthy means that we, you know, employ, this gives rise to the feeling of disempowerment, and that impacts all of our life. You know, when we feel disempowered, it majorly, you know, impacts our self-esteem. So really think about in which situations are you experiencing that, and what are the emotions that you don't want to feel. Maybe you can uncover some of those already. Also, we lose energy due to willpower. You know, when we try to push ourselves to be a certain way, you know, coming from the core wound of wanting to be different than I am. You know, I should be different than I am, feelings should be different than they are. So I need to alter something with willpower, because most of the altering yourself, willful altering yourself, doesn't quite come natural. So it takes willpower, and willpower kind of, you know, grinds you down and wears you out. So we lose a lot of energy due to willpower, whereas, you know, normally things would go and come freely and naturally if we would let go of willpower as a way of life. At some point we need to exert willpower, but as a way of life, you know, to push yourself with willpower to do something that you otherwise wouldn't do is very, very unhealthy and stupid. So examine yourself, where are you still doing that? And do not judge yourself for me saying stupid right now. I'm also having this trait in myself still. So just write it out. You know, where do you use willpower consistently? And is that using up energy? Be honest with yourself. Does it or does it not? So we also feel unwhole and broken, and we lose energy due to that. When we split off parts of ourselves and don't want to look at them, don't want to see them, don't want to feel that, don't want to be that, we feel unwhole and broken, giving rise to the longing of connection that we will be talking about in the last videos. And we feel unwhole and for some reason broken, giving rise to like a feeling of being put down or depressed or having like lack of energy. All that comes from that. When you feel lack of motivation, there's something unwhole and broken in yourself, which doesn't mean that you are kind of unwhole and broken in the sense of you're being faulty or something. It just means there's something to look at, and how we're going to do that is part of the next module. So bear with me for that and just examine yourself. Do you feel kind of disempowered or like not motivated or kind of put down, like lack of energy consistently? And, you know, what can you come up with the reason for that? Which feelings do you not want to feel that come up in this situation? So I want to really encourage you, even if it's hard to write that out, because you have to exert this creativity for yourself. We have to train together, by me leading as an example, for you also to train yourself to uncover those feelings with a necessary portion of your own creativity in that, because this is the skill that you need to learn, the self-examination of the feelings that you don't want to see and then looking at them. We also lose energy due to self-hate. You know, we feel bad about our coping mechanisms, for example, and boy do I, when I still have those coping mechanisms and employ those unhealthy means to calm myself down or to relieve myself of negative emotions, I do feel really bad. And we also feel disempowered because we feel not being in control, you know, and we lose a lot of energy due to this self-hate. You know, we want to be perfect, we want to be good, we want the things our way, we want to push things our way, but that this pushing is the exact reason why we actually feel bad about not reaching that, because pushing that is not the way to go. As we said before, willpower never quite lasts, and it comes from a place of wanting to be different than you are. So you shut your feelings away, and then they come back, these feelings, and then you need to cope with them, and you don't know what to do with them because you've never learned how to really feel through them and learn from them. So you just shun them away and then employ unhealthy means, whatever that might be, to kind of get rid of those feelings. And then we feel bad and hate ourselves for feeling we do not have control over those unhealthy behaviors. The thing is, right now we don't, but we can let them drop away by the methods of this course, the New Aliveness Code. So how are we going to do this is part of the next module. And we also lose a lot of energy due to all those internal conflicts that we have. You know, we want to do this, but our heart says that. Actually, I would feel like that, but I need to do that. For some reason, I really feel I must do this right here and right now. And this is such an immense topic where it goes like really subtle, but really examine for yourself, where do you have those internal conflicts between the voice of the head and the voice of the heart? Write it out. It doesn't need to be perfect. You know, you don't need to find 10, 15 points to everything. If you skip one of those bullet points, that's also fine. But just take some time for some self-examination of the subtleties of your unaliveness. How is it really impacting your life? All what we've been speaking about before, our human condition, not wanting to feel certain feelings, and now you know why that is. I don't need to repeat that right now. And your longings, how do you try to fill them, you see? And now you really see, why is that going on? You know, you have the mental understanding, you know, look at the roadmap. That's our goal here, module 3, to have the mental understanding. And now you really see where kind of energy gets dissipated. And when we get back into wholeness, we experience so much energy to change our lives and do something great for the world, and the world needs us. So I really believe this message is quite powerful, and also to employ, like, you know, to enable you to then go and teach this to others. This is also part of my agenda here with bringing this message out. So this being said, see you in the next video.